The energy sector is a strong seasonal period that lasts on average from February 25th until May 9th. The real core months of that trade are March and April, which over the long term have been the two best months of the year for the energy sector. If we go take a look at this graph from my Thackeray's 2018 Investors Guide, we can see here using the NYSE Arca Oil Index XOI that March and April have been very strong months for the energy sector. These bars represent the average return for the sector, and the crosses represent the median return. You can see here that these 2 months are well above the other months of the year on average. Now, if we take a look from 2012 to 2016, the recent 5-year period for XOI, you can see here that April was the strongest month of the year on average as well. So in the long term and the shorter term, March and April have done well, particularly April. If we take a look at where we are right now, we're using the ETF that trades in the States. The ticker symbol is XLE to represent the energy sector. And we can see here that overall the energy sector over the last few years on an absolute basis has not performed well. And it's underperformed the S&P 500. If we take a look at the periods for March and April in this time period here, you can see here the overall success rate for this trade in the last few years. In 2015, we can see here that we were positive for the energy sector and also outperformed the S&P 500. 2016, positive and outperformed the S&P 500 again. In 2017, we saw this overall big decline take place for the energy sector. And in this decline, the seasonal period, right in the middle of this decline, the seasonal period occurred. It was negative for the energy sector and it did underperform the S&P 500. But if you focused on just the 2 core months of March and April for the energy sector, you avoided a whole bunch of this other negative pain along the way. So where do we stand right now? We can see here using XLE, well, we've been relatively flat. In March, we were relatively flat, although the energy sector did outperform the S&P 500 because the S&P 500 in that month was negative. But here we are heading into the second month of that of the strong 2 contiguous months. April coming up. So it doesn't mean that April's going to happen to be positive for sure, but it is on average one of the stronger months for the energy sector. And from an investor's point of view, it's definitely something to think about. Thank you very much.